There, welcome to Arty Crafts. My name's Hayley and I love anything to do with art. So I've got this picture here that I painted when I was last on holiday. I did a little bit of plein air painting outside. Really enjoy being outside and painting. And I painted this picture of the seaside. So it was a little bit windy day and the sun was out, but it was a little bit cold, and I think you can see that in that picture. So I just wanted to grab some items, some little junk items, some items that I've already got, and just make a record of that day because it was such a lovely day. So I've got my art journal here, and it's a brand new art journal, and I thought I would do a double page spread. So what I'm going to do is cut this in half or maybe a third, I don't know where yet, and place the pictures down, part on each page, and then just decorate round it. Maybe put a bit of sentiment here, just some words down as a recollection, and then that'll be a nice thing to keep that I can look back on and just remember the lovely time that I had that day. So I'm going to get started and just see what happens. Okay, thanks for joining me.
So just trying to work out the placement of this picture. I've decided in between those rocks there. So I'm just going to have a look how that looks by moving the ruler and having a look at that. So I've got my cutting board and a little cutter and cutting straight through that picture and then placing it on to the background to make sure it's in the right place. Using a bit of Mod Podge there to stick down the back of the page and then positioning it onto the page, sticking it down using a bit of tissue. I've got a bit of glue on my fingers and I don't want it to pull off that paint on the front. So I've got this vellum page which has got some lovely tropical leaves on it. I thought that might look nice, put that down the side as though that is part of the background to the picture. So again, gluing it down, sticking it down, securing it there. I don't really like the harsh edges that's caused, but we'll deal with that a little bit later. So I've got this watercolour painting that I painted earlier in the year. I'd used salt on top of that, so I thought it was very appropriate for this seasidey kind of picture. So I'm going to put that down that side. It is going to be covered up a little bit with some clouds and the sea, etc. So I've just put that down. And then when I was on holiday, I found these lovely little seed heads as a little memento. So I thought, well, I could include those into the picture. So I've got some old wrapping paper here and I'm just gluing it down over those lovely seed heads there. Just making it all wrinkly as though it could be sort of rocks, a continuation of the rocks that you can see in the foreground in the picture. I've had to double layer on that because there were tears as I was sticking it down. So I've got another picture that I painted and they're just little flowers and I thought that could be quite nice, just layering over the top of that tissue paper. So just cutting them out now, getting them ready and putting them down, having a look at where the placement would be good. And then I've got some napkins here and I thought these were very rock-like little shapes there. So I'm cutting some of those out and I'm going to utilise those. So continuing with the cutting out of the flowers and just getting a little pile together ready to place them on to the picture. And in that tissue paper there were some little butterflies and I thought, well, I could cut some of those out, utilise them, put them on the left hand side over the vellum paper. I thought that would look quite nice. I must admit the butterflies are a little bit fiddly to cut round. They're so tiny. I wish I got some really small scissors, but I haven't. I've just got these ones. So trying my hardest to cut them out without cutting their wings, etc. So I've got a few of these butterflies and I'm getting them ready to stick them down. And getting some more of that tissue paper again, putting the Mod Podge on the back of it, and I'm going to put it on the right hand side of the page. So sticking it down over that watercolour picture there and covering up the brown paper on the bottom, scrunching it up so it looks a little bit rock-like, and just while it's still wet, just arranging it. So I've got some acrylic paint and I wanted to continue the sea onto this watercolour page. So I'm just going to try and blend in the acrylic paint to the sea and get a continuation of that landscape through that watercolour page. Just letting some of the pattern come through because it sort of represents to me sort of rocky, sandy kind of look to it. I really love mixing up your medias. It's just such a fun process. So I'm adding a little bit of green into the sea there, and then I'm going to overlay with a bit more white just to blend that in. And then I'm going to grab some more blue and I'm just going to cover up the white of the page where I've painted that page and I've had it taped down. There's a white border and I just want to merge that in. So I'm just painting that and covering it all up. And then I'm just smudging in a little bit of that blue down the sides in between the wires there, just so that it sort of looks a little bit continuous when you look at the page. I mean, I still want to see this metal bits, but I just want it to look a little bit as though it's continued. So I've got a darker blue. I think this is a Prussian blue I've got here. And I'm just doing that headland there and adding that detail. And then I've got some white and I'm just adding some more to those clouds. I'm going to put a little bit of darker colour underneath the clouds just so it looks as though it's a bit rainy, it's about to rain. So I hope you get to try this. It's just so easy to do. Grab an old picture, grab some old bits around you and just add them on, just layer them over the top. Really easy, simple to do. So I hope you like this, and if you like this, maybe you'll consider liking and subscribing. Maybe leave me a comment, that would be great, and I'll come straight back to you. So just adding those little butterflies there onto the vellum paper, so as though they're flying over those little seed heads there, and then grabbing those flowers that I cut out earlier and just sticking them here and there along that sort of landscape bit along the front. The layering up process just adds that little bit of interest so that when you look at the page, your eye wanders around, looking at all the little detail. So I'm sticking down the tissue there. I'm sort of trying to break up that harsh line of the tissue paper onto the landscape. So I think that does that quite well. It looks a little bit more seamless. And you can see the end results here. So it's been really lovely to do. I've really enjoyed it and I hope you do too. So I hope you get to try this and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.